And welcome to Mommy Diaries. This podcast is about motherhood, parenting, and this amazing journey ya ho hodisa bana ba rona. On today's show, I'm so excited. I have a good friend of mine, Black. I didn't know you were going to wear black.
I also didn't know you were going to wear black.
Very smart.
Black makes us look good.
Yeah, Hungani Ndlovu, welcome.
Thank you for having
How
me.
are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm doing the things that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I have a beautiful family. I have a beautiful support structure. I have beautiful friends. And honestly, I'm so blessed. Like, when I take stock of where I am right now in my life, I'm so blessed. So I'm okay. Yeah.
So you're not going to ask me?
No.
Don't you want to know how I'm doing?
How are you, Passy? It's been so long.
Yes.
I feel like this Mommy Diaries episode is going to become a catch-up.
Yes. A nice catch-up since the last time I saw you. Me, I am... Today.
Honestly.
Today, I am better than yesterday. Yesterday, I struggled with anxiety a lot. And sometimes I'm still trying to figure out what are my triggers.
Sure.
Because sometimes I would get so anxious, but I don't know what could have triggered my anxiety.
Wow.
So yesterday, I was very anxious. And then I took some medication and I slept.
So you're on anxiety medication?
Not it's the homeopath or not like the one that you're prescribed by but shock and anxiety. I took those and then I slept and I woke up and I spoke to myself that it's a new day, I must try again.
Yeah.
So today I'm better.
Sure.
Honestly. Like you said, I must be honest. Yeah.
So have you tried to take stock of yesterday or you've let it go completely?
I know I'm going to do it at night when I'm alone. Yeah.
It's good to take stock. Why therapy?
It's expensive. It's like ChatGPT, you know.
Question why therapy now?
I did go to therapy at some point, but I feel like it's so easy for people to say why therapy. It's so easy for people to say by therapy, but sometimes you don't find the right person.
It takes time.
Because I've changed my therapist so many times. Some therapists you can resonate with, and some so I haven't found the one I can say yo.
Don't stop looking.
You think?
Yeah, I've found someone now, and it's been a good 9 months of weekly therapy. And I mean, here and there you'll skip a week or you'll skip 2 weeks, but I'm grateful that I took the journey to find someone.
Yeah.
Because there's just this thing, like being able to get into a room, and I think like a lot of people have this misconception of what therapy is and like what it looks like. It's like you're laying on this couch and they're asking you questions, and yes, there are questions, but they are probing questions to help you navigate things for yourself.
Okay.
So that when you find yourself having a day like yesterday, you're able to ask yourself questions so that it doesn't become bigger than it needs to be. Because we're not saying days like yesterday won't happen.
Yeah.
But it's, do you have the tools to be able to manage days like yesterday so that you don't always have to take whatever herbal thing or whatever anxiety medication that people are on, whatever antidepressants that people are on? Because I feel most of the time when we don't have the tools, that's when we struggle the most because we feel these things and then the head is going there, it's going there. Then the heart is beating faster than it's ever before. Then the mouth is dry. Then you're crying. Then you want to punch the pillow. But if you have the tools, you're able to say, okay, but why am I feeling like this right now? okay, I put on the TV and then there was an advert about plants. Oh, he really liked plants. So it made me think about him. And I didn't plan to think about him. Now I'm triggered.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the tools, now you can't trace and, you know, so I'd
yeah.
really encourage you to
And
take the
it
time.
is mental health for men.
Yes.
And also it's like I called you here because we were celebrating and having chats with fathers.
Yeah.
You know, present
I saw the
days.
episode with Eric and Clement. It was nice.
Yeah. So when you talk about that, what are some of the tools or what helps you when you feel anxious?
Right now, my go-to is to assess the situation. So by assessing the situation, it's asking why. Like, you know, vana this thing of asking why.
Yeah.
You know, you tell them, no, don't touch the stove. Why? Because it's hot. Why? Because the stove is on. Why? Because we're cooking dinner. Why?
Yeah.
Because you're hungry. So now I've internalized that for myself because my daughter asks me why so much. So now when I get into a moment, like, why am I feeling like this? I'm feeling like this because X, Y, and Z. Okay, but why? Then that takes me somewhere else. Why? It takes me somewhere else. To the point where eventually it's like, okay, it's actually not as big as I thought it was. Because sometimes we take 15 mils of medication, a spoon, and we make it a 3,000 liter bottle.
That's me, yeah.
But it's literally 15 mils.
Yeah.
And 15 mils, you can put it in your mouth and swallow it and it's gone. It's not a big deal. So that's my thing. Just repetitively asking why until the point where I can't go any further. It's like, you know.
Between school drop-offs and chasing life goals, saving often feels like something we'll get to eventually. But what if it could just happen almost automatically? With ABSA's Savings Coach, their latest innovative and fun way to save, it can. You choose your goal. Maybe it's a family holiday, school uniforms, or even just an emergency stash. And the app helps you save towards it. You can even set it to move money every payday or when you hit a certain milestone. No spreadsheets, no fuss. It's all inside the ABSA banking app. So make saving one less thing to worry about. Start today with the ABSA Savings Coach. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. Yeah. And tell me about your childhood. You spoke about your family. Like, I know about your family, but tell us about your childhood. How did you grow up and how was your childhood?
I would say I had a very privileged childhood. Yeah, I mean, I grew up being called Cheese Boy. So if you I think that's yeah, I mean that's essentially how my upbringing was, very privileged. My parents worked very hard to make sure that I had it even better than they did. You know, myself and my sister, we went to good schools. You know, I mean, she'll probably say, yeah, but you had it softer than me. Last born, so it's inevitable. But to be honest, yeah, my parents did the most when it comes to me, and they still instilled great values, great morals, good work ethic, and just overall, like, I'm a good person. But that's based off how they raised me. You know, I've managed to travel even when I was still in school. Pella, when you go to good schools, or not good schools, private schools, they take you on excursions, and the excursion is going to USA or it's going to Canada, and
excursions too.
It's still something. It's still something. But it's like, it's expensive to take your 16-year-old child to America for a history trip. Right? You know, that's not like a normal trip.
So where did you go?
No, I went. To the United States of America and all these other places. And that was them allowing me something that I didn't think was bigger than what it was. Like, it's just a school history trip. You know, we're going to write about it when we come back. But it was actually opening up my eyes to see how other people live, different cultures, all of these different things. So I'm very grateful to my parents because outside of being raised in a Christian home and household, my grandparents are bishops, my father's a pastor, like Vukreste is within.
Yeah, no choice.
Outside of that, like they really allowed me a chance to see the world, but also support my dreams after seeing the world. Because if you open me up to a world that's more than just here at home, my dreams are going to become bigger.
Of course.
And once my dreams are bigger, now what?
Yeah.
So when I wanted to become a tennis player, they put me in private lessons and all of these things. We tried it. We went the whole way. Did tournaments, lost badly, decided it's not my thing. We tried the soccer thing. Also there, we went the whole way, did provincial, all of that stuff until we found the entertainment industry. And even then, they still went the whole way.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful to my parents.
Yeah.
Very.
And the whole thing of acting, it started learning.
2011, I was in grade 11. I got exposed to it in April. So at school, I used to do backstage. So I was the one helping like the drama students with their pracs, setting up the stage, moving stuff, moving the furniture and whatnot. I never wanted to be the person on the stage until April 2011. I bumped into this guy called Shelton Forbes. And he at the time was a dancer. And he was opening for Botre Songs, for Chris Brown, like all of these big shows. He was one of the dancers that was part of the different crews. So he essentially introduced me to the world of dance and it being a career. And so I was like, hey, okay, I never really thought I could, because for me it was a hobby. So I was like, I never really thought this could be a career path, but let me explore it. And through exploring it with him, I ended up in acting workshops.
Got you.
The acting workshops took me into a whole other space, and I was like, Batong, I can do this with my body, my mind, my voice. This is the instrument. Wait a minute. Let's go back, guys. We need to recalculate things here.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, by about like August 2011, I was like, I'm going to be in the entertainment industry, come hell or high water.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any subjects to support it. I wasn't doing drama in school. I wasn't doing dance.
No, it's a science.
It's a science. Maths core. Like you failure.
Ow.
Yeah. It was tough.
Really?
Oh, it was bad. I wish. Those were my friends.
Not you.
I never Pisces.
Yeah.
Because I was also not studying. I get to live on that. Yo, Shem, if I could go back.
Yeah.
Choose your friends wisely, guys.
And here you are.
Yeah.
And fatherhood. How's that going? Fatherhood. Have you always wanted to be a dad?
I think so. Yeah, I've always wanted to have children, have a family. I think the journey of fatherhood is very complex because how many books, if you were to go to a bookstore, do you think you would find on fathering or fatherhood or father to be in the same section where you find maternity, pregnancy food, all of these different things that they have for women? There's barely anything. So when we were pregnant with Rue, our daughter, I was looking for books because I was like, I need to learn about what's coming, but also how to support the mother of my child, how to support my child, how to support myself, how to support whoever's going to be around us so that I know everything is happening accordingly, so that I'm, doing what the head of the house needs to do. And I couldn't find any of these books.
Sure.
So eventually I found 2 books by a guy called Craig Wilkinson. And this is a white man, South African white man. And the only reason why he wrote these 2 books that he wrote was because his son wrote him a letter of gratitude, just expressing how much he's so grateful to have a father in his life because of the kind of friends that he has, and some of his friends don't have dads, and he can see like where they lack, and how privileged he is. So through that, it prompted him to write these 2 books. Now, I read the books, and yes, they helped me in certain areas and certain ways, but when you get into something that you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the reality, even if you read about it. It's the very same way people will go to university and study whatever they study, but then when they get into the real world of that very thing they studied, they're like, Heban,
yeah,
we didn't learn this.
Yeah.
You know, so that's been my experience with fatherhood. The first 6 to 9 months were terrible for me because I felt like I don't really know how to show up for Steph because the child is very dependent on
her.
the mom.
Yeah.
When the child is hungry every 2 hours, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
If Robert and it's midnight and she wakes up because it's time to feed, what must I do?
It's like it. Yeah.
So outside of that, it was also like just trying to understand like what's happening to her.
Yeah.
You know, because it's honestly a miracle what happens. You know, for me, like women are superheroes because I can't comprehend what happens internally to house a whole human being and then give birth to a human being. So I felt like I wasn't useful enough.
I hear you.
Even though like she would say, no, like you're doing great, you know, I appreciate it. And then, but I just felt like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a very like logical person and I want to have like a tangible thing to show her, no, I helped you and this is how I helped you.
Yeah.
You know, but when you're helping someone maybe like psychologically or emotionally, sometimes it doesn't land as well as, oh no, I changed the nappy this time so that you could sleep. You know, so when it got to stages like that, I started to feel like, even though I was already helpful for myself, I started to feel like, oh, okay, no, now I'm being more useful because now we're bottle feeding and now I can take the whole day with her and she can rest because she doesn't have to be busy, you know, all of this, that kind of stuff. It was a learning process. And I'm glad that I went through that because it showed me the side, and people may take this out of context, but it showed me the side where I could sympathize with the man that runs away because of how much pressure one feels when a child is born. You're going to work in order to make sure that there's provision at home. But when you're at work, you're thinking about home. Then you come home, then you don't know how to help. Then you go back to work, then you come home, you still don't know how to help. But you're helping in different ways, but you feel like, well, at least for myself, I felt like I wasn't useful. And it got me to a point where I was like, yo, maybe this is why like some pros are just like, hey, as in it's too much.
Yeah.
I'm not justifying
or condoning it. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
That's never the answer.
Yeah.
You know? But the amount of pressure that one feels it's insane. I've never felt so much pressure in my life than the 6th of June, 2022. Because literally, I watched everything happen. This head comes out. Then the whole body comes out. Then you must cut the umbilical cord. And then you just like, this is my responsibility.
Sure.
Like, there's no pause. There's no rewind. There's no fast forward.
No.
So in this current moment where I'm like, I don't know, that time the nurse le bona ba busy, okay, papa itla le rena, re tla ka o bontsha gore o dira so, and everything is fast and you're trying to remember, okay, and then at this time you must make sure o tsentsha so, and you're still trying to think, is Steph okay in the room by herself? So it was tough in the beginning, but now, I mean, she's 3 years old. We have a beautiful bond, a beautiful relationship. It's a beautiful journey even for self.
Yeah. But whose fault is it, do you think, for what you're saying? Like, there's no books, there are less podcasts that talk about, like, there's mommy diaries, there's culture.
I mean, look, when you have a child as a woman, it's either you go home to your mom and you stay there for a while, or your mom comes to you.
Yeah.
Where's the man in that equation?
But I guess you do know why the woman had to go home.
Why?
Because mosadi wa chase at the time le ka tlola hlahlamisa. It's easy to make another child ka nako eo. They taking her away from you because they know the possibilities of you of
during that time.
So they don't want that.
But that's not the only reason I kept.
That's one of the reasons.
Yes.
What are other reasons in your culture?
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's my thing. So bathusa wena. Go buya. Uthusa ke mang? Ke nna.
So
So I'm not saying gore ke tsamaye le wena, but what's the process for monna in that very same way?
So
Because for example, if a kgone go latcha ngwana, ba tla o thusa ke.
Yes, ba nthusa.
O boya gae. Na ke tsebe gore go thusa bjang gore o letche.
So you think it's better if the mom comes into your home and helps?
I think we need to have conversation on how do we do this together.
And not separate.
And not separately. Because there's a lot of, I mean, we were fortunate. Steph's mom came to us. So I was fortunate in that.
To learn as she's learning, as everyone is doing it.
Also, Steph's mom hadn't had a child in a very long time. Steph and all of her siblings are grown. So she was also still needing to adjust to whatever, you know. But the whole point is the very support that you have, I'm able to see so that when she's now gone back to her home, I can still be of that support. Whether it's a hot water bottle, whether it's pillows being put in a specific way, whether it's porridge, whether it's soup, whatever it is.
But I guess it's because, like you're saying, if it's culture, it's also because of how things were in the past.
100%.
Fathers were not involved like you guys are now.
100%.
A lot of old men will tell you, I will never get into that labor room. They were not like that.
Yeah.
But now, because things have changed, that's why I'm like, okay, Linda, my mom came to help. I didn't go to Bloemfontein. She came here to help out, which was nice because he got to see what needs to happen.
Yeah.
But I think they're taking away, it was because, like, it was, what did he change nappies?
Yeah.
And making the bottle. It was not
100%.
men were not involved like that. Their job was just to provide and sit on the couch and even daddy.
Yeah. No, I think that plays a huge role. And I think that's why my response was culture or society, you know, and with things changing and growing and evolving as time continues to go, these are the same things that we need to see. How do we adjust so that it's useful for the household, you know, because I think it's the last thing you want is to have your mom there for however many weeks, months. The minute she leaves, you can feel worry. Your support is gone.
No, I felt it.
You see what I mean?
I cried. I cried.
And that shouldn't be the case.
Really?
It shouldn't. At least in my opinion. I don't think that should be the case. Like, ke gona. Now it feels as if I'm not even here. That shouldn't be the case.
But how yena?
100%. And I'll never be. But I can still support you. I might not give you... Obviously, to your mom, you also have like an emotional kind of, you know, all of those things. If you can also chip it in whilst you guys are busy and all of that. I get that. But outside of the emotional and psychological support, I should be able to assist you with everything.
Yeah.
The very same way she was.
Yeah.
Because it's things that need to be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether ke go ba re keng go kolomaka or whatever it is, in the way that you need it to be done in this state that you're at. You know, like there was a time, because we had a miscarriage the first time, and it was during COVID times. And I remember one of the days, like Steph was in so much pain, and she literally said, call my mom to come. Like my heart just was like, yo, like in this instance, my presence is not enough to keep you strong. Called mommy to come. Mommy came. And you could see like the instinct, like it was so like, and I understand. Even me, if I get to a certain place, I just want my mother. Yes. I get it, you know, but it still doesn't take away that feeling of, man, I really wish I could give you that.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, your mom is your mom, your dad is your dad. You know, you can't, no one can replace those people.
But what has fatherhood taught you about yourself?
That I'm capable, you know, to step into an area that is so tricky. Guys, raising a child is, it's tricky, man.
Yeah.
Raising a child is tricky.
Yeah.
You think you're doing the right thing, and then you go to the pediatrician, then they tell you, no, you're supposed to be doing it like this. Like there's so many different things that you experience. I think for me, it was just like learning to know that you're capable, but you have to decide that. Like once you clock out, you won't be able to do it. But for as long as you continue to try and you continue to show up, even when you don't feel like it, Pela, sometimes your child will just make you feel like, yo, but you can't.
You can't. Yes, you can't.
And also you can't throw your frustration at them because they're not going to register that.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
So like learning to be patient, learning to breathe, and also realize that this little being is literally exploring and experiencing the world day by day.
Yeah.
There's like a new discovery every day. Mabani, she didn't see the velvet sofa. Today she sees it.
It's velvet, yeah.
Now we must explore what this is, and let's make it a moment. You know, just because we're now Twaiti and it's, you know, it doesn't mean, you know. So yeah, it's really taught me to understand that I'm capable, but also to be present. There's nothing more beautiful than playing with my child without distractions. Because Baba, when you go into the playroom, Mara, it's your phone. Okay, Nana. Put that thing away. Be here.
Be there. Yeah.
Like my daughter has this thing of saying, let's play pretend.
Yo.
Oh,
pretend. Yo. And the pretend doesn't dibora. Now you have to make it look like
exactly.
Let's play pretend.
Because she's inside.
Abaring.
Utlaba pretend mama. Utlaba pretend doctor. Pretend customer. Oh, she likes being a shopkeeper.
Yes, they do.
Oh. Yeah. So in those moments, for me, being an actor, I go into improv.
Of course.
And I love it.
Yeah. You in any way you get paid to pretend.
Yeah.
You're a pretender.
You know, I love it.
Yeah.
And we play. I change my voice. I do all of it. And we play. And Sning, then she just starts laughing. Oh, Papa, you're so silly.
It's so funny.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, man. You know, 30 minutes, and then it's like, you know, hey, Papa needs to go to work now. You know, it was great. You know, so yeah, it's been a beautiful journey.
I can tell. And it's the nice thing about it, like you're saying, every year, every stage is different.
Yeah.
3 years is different from my stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going through now? It's like now she's close. She's 8. Most of her other friends are 10, and now we are having conversations about periods.
Wow.
And I'm like, I didn't realize gore nako ya tsamaya.
Wow.
So she knew about I go on my periods, but now she's aware gore even little girls do
So
also
her
go.
friends are on periods
Yeah,
already
there's a
at
10. Yeah, at 10. So
oh my.
it's the food we eat. Let's be honest. It's the food we eat from when we're pregnant, what we feed them. Kids are going on their period from 10. So from 10, you need to have a conversation about not being touched. Like obviously, those conversations, you need to have them all the time.
Yeah.
But like when we talk about it, when she knew about mommy goes on her, because we used to bath together. But obviously, when you're on your period, I'm like, listen, I can't bath with you because I'm on my. She calls it pyramids. She can't say period. Pyramids. Oh, you're on your pyramids. So even when when I'm sad, she knows. Oh, do you want cranberry juice? Are you on your pyramids? So she knows for age. There's this thing called pyramids. The diapers go busy. But when her friend went through that,
sure,
she was like, so when is my pyramid coming? Kire Nema, how you bad the pyramid? So now it's like I'm at a different stage. Yeah, the pyramids.
How do you even have that conversation with an 8-year-old?
The hormones in
ChatGPT.
when an egg. Hey, every woman goes on their period. But now these kids, like you're saying, they want to know. They ask why.
Yeah.
So why then do you have to bleed? Now you have to answer all those questions. Oh, now if you have sex with a boy, it means that you will get pregnant. I don't want to have those conversations with her now. She's 8.
Yeah, that's honestly, that sounds very early.
It is. And la mo sheba motho wa teng o mokana, but tlamehile re bue ka taba tsa bo di pyramids. So I'm at that stage where my friends are older, their kids are older. It's different stages as well. You're dealing with teenagers, so it never ends. And I think it needs, like what you're saying, the support from friends and family, because some things I think my Nema would, when she goes on her period, she's gonna tell her dad before me.
You think so?
Yeah, they have if she would choose, I'm not saying she would, but if she would choose, ne? If bare lefatshe la fela, choose. Are you going to your dad or your mommy?
Yeah.
To the dad. And it used to break my heart, but I've made peace with it.
Yeah.
Because that's a relationship they have, and I'm happy for her. Because I didn't have that with my dad. I wish I did, but now I'm not gonna stop it. That's why I'm like, I do not get in the way of because co-parenting is tough.
Yeah.
I do not get in the way of their relationship. If she feels like she would call me and say, okay, today I'm deciding to sleep at my dad's place. Even though why? I'm like, no problem. I'll see you tomorrow. Because now they have the freedom of choosing.
Sure.
Today I just want to be with my dad, or tomorrow I just want to be with you.
Yeah.
So you allow them to be, unlike
yeah.
You know? So for me, it's like I'm allowing her to be herself, even though I'm here to definitely guide her.
Of course.
So parenting is...
No, it's tough.
Yeah, especially in our industry. I don't know how you deal with it, because also the hours. You're on a soapy, I'm on a soapy. I know the hours are... Do you have that guilt sometimes where you feel like...
Always.
Yeah.
Always. It's a never-ending battle.
Yeah.
Because I was just talking to my agent literally yesterday about time. And she's like, Hungani, I know, but you know that you don't own your time. And it's like...
Yeah.
You try to see the good in it, because it's what allows us to have the life that we have. I mean, of course, all of this comes from God, but we have to do the work, and the work requires some level of sacrifice. And sometimes that sacrifice may not be completely registered, understood. It could be dismissed, and it could be completely invalidated. The guilt comes in when, especially for me, when there's like a school something go crash, and it's like, parents are allowed to be there. Will you be joining us? It's like, yeah, I can't confirm because I don't
On
know.
a schedule, on a call sheet.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be available, but I'd like to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, can you just please let us know at least 2 days before? It's like, okay. And then you say, yeah, no, I'm coming. And then the night before, the schedule changes and now you have a call sheet. You need to be there at 6 a.m. And you're like, she also knows that I'm coming. Now what?
It's the worst.
You know, so it's tough because both of us are in the industry. And by virtue of the kind of country we live in, colored people don't work that much. You know, and when they do, they don't have very big roles. Similar to Indians, similar to white people, unless you are white Afrikaans speaking. For us black people, it's a whole other thing. If you are speaking any other language outside of isiZulu, make sure you learn. I mean,
I can't learn. It's too late.
You must try something. But what I'm trying to get at is when you have a job, your thing is to try and keep it.
Of course.
And to try and keep it is to be the least problematic. So
you can't say I can't make it because you need the job.
There's a co-star of mine. He wanted to drop off his child on the first day of school this year. It literally takes 45 minutes to do that.
Yeah.
Call time is 6. He's asking to come at 7. I don't know. It's like, guys, I'm literally just dropping off my child. I don't know, your call time is 6. I know, that's why I'm asking. Now, you must go back and say, okay, Papa ka sekgone. Mara o tla isa ke mama kere. But I'll try my best to pick you up. You can't even promise that because even though on the call sheet, your last scene is at 12, so you can pick your child up ka 1, the day could completely go upside down and your last scene becomes ka 4 o'clock. You know, so the guilt is definitely there, but I try my best to look on the bright side, which is like when I have the time, I have to make the most of it.
Yeah.
Because I know there'll come a time where the time doesn't belong to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I wonder what you're saying. I think when I'm thinking about it now, that's the reason why Nema prefers her dad. Now it's making sense that's the reason why. Yeah. This year was my first year attending Mother's Day event with her at school.
Wow.
Nana 08.
Sure.
Every time when it's Mother's Day, again, they do it in the morning. I'm in store. They can't shift scenes. My younger sister has to go and represent me.
Sure.
The way she was so excited.
Yeah.
So I realized, well, it's not because of I'm not a good mom. I just realized now that I don't have time like Papa Hananako more than me. He's there every minute, every hour. Now I'm not.
And it's the small things, man. They get excited for something that you think is so... That event is not even an hour.
No, it's not.
It's such a small thing.
Yeah. And I get a when they speak about us. My mom, and then she wants to show off for it. My mom. She was so excited. And I'm like, I wish I really had the luxury of saying I'm taking a year off screen so that I can just be a present mom. I wish, but I can't.
Yeah, it's the pros and cons, or rather the duality of life, which is what I've been learning about recently. Like, there'll be great highs and great lows all at the same time, and we just dance in between them, you know?
Yes.
But
Yes.
It's still sore, man.
It's painful.
It's still sore.
Yeah, the dance is nice when the
Yeah.
The dance, it's painful.
Yeah.
That dance you're talking about,
Yeah.
because life, you can't be happy every day all the time. Ke joy ke pain. Go ya kwa go monate. Go nyolosetsa kwa.
You'll even forget go na le joy at the same time. O thotse million mara ka mo.
Oh, you're getting gigs, ne?
You
Let's say you're getting gigs. But was like email ki di campaign ki di ing. But something on the other side, and then it's like your whole life is a mess. Yeah. But we will dance.
Yeah. Now to dance, we must dance.
And how's work?
Work is
interesting. Your storylines are very interesting.
It's good. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm one of the people in the industry who took a leap very early in the content creator space.
You did.
And I'm very grateful for that, because work is abundant, and that's honestly like God's blessings. And I would be lying if I didn't say work is good. You know, it's still hectic. It's still challenging because like life is expensive, you know, and when you have a child going to crash, you know, I don't know why these things are all so expensive. After K Tomaka 1 and you're just like, what home?
What's the point?
Like, I must come drop a 8, come lataka 1. Like, wait. After K is from 1 until 4. Wait, guys. Anyway, work is good. Yeah, I think being on Scheme Sam definitely challenged me a lot as a performer, primarily because of language. And I'm proud of myself because watching my scenes now versus when I just started, the percentage of English versus Sepedi has completely like swapped around. And I had to put in work in order to get to that point. Whether people are aware of it or are not aware of it, I'm aware of it. And that for me is... I'm Tsonga.
Oh.
Changan.
Oh, yes.
So for me, it's like, even the fact that you can ask that question, so many people think that I'm either Zulu or
American.
I am American. If
American.
If after Beyonce Scheme Sama, no, you local. Yeah, so that for me was a big challenge and a big leap from like my career, and I'm glad that I took the shot. And then like from a content creator side, producer side, with like my production company, it's growing. You know, having produced the theater piece at Santon Theatre on the Square this year in Feb, I didn't think that was going to be possible, but we managed to do it, and we managed to make a profit, which is just like, I'm so happy. You know, content creation. I now have a creative agency that's also a production house, and working with big national brands. It's things that you dream of, and then when they start to happen, you're just like, God, this thing is happening. You know, so yeah, it's going well. My biggest challenge is building a team. That is my biggest challenge. Yeah.
I think if we're building teams with robots, it would be better. Think about it.
Why?
One of the things that I find very difficult is working with people. And when I say, obviously, I have to work with people.
Yeah.
People are difficult, man. Especially if, again, it's your business. Now, you have a vision for your business. It's difficult to find people who are on the same frequency to make your vision grow.
Sure.
So, mang le mang o shebetse yene. If motho o le yene, it was his dream, and they had a vision, they were not going to treat it like how they're working for someone else.
Sure.
So it becomes so difficult when you are building, because having a business is like having a child. That's your baby. And you want to, now by the time my baby is 8 years old, ke batla ba bua this language. Ke batla ba dula ko this country. But when your helper, your nanny, doesn't have the same vision as you, she's just there to help. So, and then there's emotions, and then there's, people are just.
No, I hear you.
Yeah. So if it was a robot, so my robot, what can I do?
Wa program.
Go get me
software.
Ebe refela. It's nang the emotions. It's nang ing. It's especially for us Black people.
Yes. Yeah, no, Shem. It's tough, man. I think my thing is having people who understand that just because you think I'm this famous person doesn't mean I've got the money like that.
Mm-hmm.
This business is a startup.
I
wanna capital ya nix. I wanna silent partner.
Do you think being on screen contributes to not finding a good team for what you're trying to do?
Yeah, because like trying to get someone on and say, look, I genuinely don't have the money to pay you what you're worth, but this is what I can offer you. And as we grow, it will increase.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, no ways, bro.
Give me 2,000.
So for me, that's the difficult thing. It's like, I can tell that you've got the mindset, you've got the skill set, you've got all of that. You also see the vision, but you think that there's money already. And I'm telling you, there is no, bro, I'll print out the statements right now. There's nothing. Yeah. I'm saying, can you build and grow with me? If it means ukrea percent the company, it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to any of those things.
Yeah.
But it's when you think that, nah, I'm takona lichalete, there's no way. What? Do you see 1 million followers? She's on Skim Sam, dog. What do you mean? What? Wasn't this the guy that was on Tropica? Don't tell me he doesn't have money.
And then...
And based off that, then you realize that there's no way we can make it work, because I genuinely can't afford you. I can't afford you. Because you're asking me for 10,000 Rand and I'm saying I can give you 3.5 right now.
Then don't you think you should get like people from school, straight from school, who are hungry and who have the vision, but...
You see, that's the challenge. Sorry to cut you off. That's the challenge, because now you get someone who's inexperienced. Now you have to take the time to get them to that point where now they're doing things the way you want them to do it, versus this person who can do it the way you want it done right now. I'm trying to get someone to do it the way it needs to be done right now, because I need the time back. So if I must now take the time to teach somebody else, as much as in the long run, it's what needs to be done, but I need the time now because my child is growing now. So it's like, it's a catch-22, because it's like, yes, you can take the time to nurture someone and, train them up and all of that stuff, But when there's someone who's capable right now.
Oh, I'd like 10,000.
And it's like, having you on my team will literally give me an extra 2 hours in my day. And that 2 hours could be picking up my child from school, could be playing with her, could be resting. So it's, it's tough.
No, it is tough. That's what I'm saying. I wish there were robots that we can team up with. And I think people have lost the spirit of collaboration.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
Because it's not even about you working for me.
Yeah.
We are, I came up with the idea, or I birthed this child, but now we have to collaborate to make it work.
Yeah.
But people don't want to collaborate.
I mean, when you look at most, if not all of like these billion-dollar companies, the founder barely does anything in the business. They are a founding member. they've got a CEO, they've got a director, they've got a marketing what, the CFO, and this and this and this and this. You end up asking, whose business is this? No, it was founded by Mapasek. Yeah, but the CEO is Hungani. Because they found people to get into positions to take the vision where it needs to go. So that can only happen from a spirit of collaboration, because you understand that your role is going to take this thing from empty to full. And you take pride in that. But when you don't have that spirit or the understanding or the concept, then it becomes difficult, because now I must convince you first. And already, if I must convince you, you can change your mind at any given point in time. You know? But it's not to say that people are not out there. You know, it's just a matter of being patient and praying for the right people to, you know, come around and meet them and eventually team up with them, and it will happen somewhere, somehow, at God's time and God's will.
And I won't lie, I'm with you on that one, because Leonard, I struggle to with other things. It's not the podcast as such, but like my shop. You know, you have a shop assistant. Why are we here?
Yeah.
Now I'm there. I have to run it myself. Check out WhatsApp, how will the customer handle? You're like, what is going on here? And when people think of Uzuri, they think of me.
100%.
Not the chick behind WhatsApp.
Yeah.
But because it's not their business. But hello. Okare hello ko customer. Hello, hi. What's here?
Unyaka.
So I get it. So I get it. But I think you will find the right team. Like you're saying, pray about it so that you can grow. And how to actually do Hungani?
Hundreds. No, I'm not stingy like that. I'm not stingy like that.
Shangani guys hotally stingy.
Ubulama.
Bari like, you know.
Bamang.
Bari like Bari lefana ka tjhelete. Bari you help us grow. Bari stingy.
No, I'm not stingy. When it comes to work, people must be paid what they're worth, because I value that for myself as well. You know, that's why it's like, if I can't pay you what you're worth, I'm saying take a percentage.
Yeah.
Because then that means this thing also belongs to you.
Yeah.
When it does good, we're all doing good.
Yeah.
You know?
Siyakufe percentage. And what's that one thing that you learned from your parents that you want to carry on with your child?
Wow. That's a good question. Wow. I would say to always do your best and God will do the rest. That's like the staple mantra at home, regardless of the situation, circumstance, whatever it is, whether you're writing exams, you're doing a school project, whether you're going to play a soccer game or you're just doing life, do your best and God will do the rest. And for me, it's seen me through very difficult times, because even in those difficult moments, you're like, yeah, but God, I'm doing my best. Hey, this is all I got. This is the best I can do. You know, and true to who he is, he does the rest. You know, there was a day I'm at church. The pastor basically said, God requires a 0% from you. And he does the 100%. That 0 is basically showing up. But obviously in this case, it's like, do your best under whatever circumstances you're currently going through. You know, if busy the pyramids and it's tough, do your best and God will do the rest. You know, if you're flourishing and things are looking up and everything is going well, it's still in that case, do your best and God will do the rest.
What makes you happy?
Happiness is fleeting. I mean, someone could give me a compliment as I leave. That will make me happy. You know, seeing my child smile can make me happy. Happiness is it's a thing that comes and goes throughout the day. I think what brings me joy is knowing that I've done what I can for my family, regardless of how much maybe guilt I might be experiencing because I was on set the whole week, Monday to Friday, and now they're asking for Saturday as well. But when I go to bed and I wake up before my daughter wakes up and I go to work again and she doesn't see me for the whole day, I know that I've done my best. So that's what brings me joy, is knowing that I've done my utmost best for them. Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you
Did
for
you have
having
fun?
me. Yeah, this was nice. It was nice. You know, I never thought I'd be on Mommy Diaries. Pella, we spoke about Mommy Diaries before it was Mommy Diaries. Back.
Sorry.
You know?
I had a dream.
Yeah.
We spoke about it.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
It's not often you see someone journey through having an idea and what this thing could possibly be, and the get-togethers and the different initiatives that you've had, to then a podcast, you know, and having the different guests that you've had. Honestly, I know that this is something very close to your heart. It's poured into a lot of people's lives, and we can't take that for granted.
Yeah.
So as they say in today's culture, I'm giving you your flowers.
Thank you.
You know, because you've done something good. And even from inception of the idea, it wasn't about you. It was about other people.
Yeah.
So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming.
Anytime.
Wiki, move throughout the interview. Thanks for watching.
Buddy, where's the lace? Where's the lace?